Here I am on a 40 degrees day, and I want to talk about when you look for the good in someone that you often hear so much bad about. You may not change your mind completely about that person, but you do start looking at them a whole lot differently. I started thinking about this process while I was making my last video, Trump's 8 best choices as president. Check it out if you haven't done so yet. While I was in the editing phase, I thought about this saying, not everything is black and white. Sometimes there's shades of grey. Now my first example is looking at media biases. In the United States, you've got CNN and Fox just constantly going at it, just beating each other up with their thoughts and opinions on politics. Sometimes not even having a professional in the area talking on the topic. Watching either of these news sources, you're only getting the extremes of that side. CNN will back Joe Biden to no end and blacklist Donald Trump no matter what he does, while Fox will rarely ever speak kindly of Biden, while they'll defend Trump no matter how bad the situation is. Although let's look at a scenario where this wasn't the case. When Donald Trump signed the First Step Act, it was a real leap for criminal justice reform, and both sides of politics could agree on it. CNN was basically praising him. The reporter Van Jones, who was so emotional when Biden got into office and Trump was finally out, was crying on national television. He was there on the day that Trump signed the bill, praising him in front of all the Republicans. With that said, we can look at the grey here as well. This was never part of Trump's agenda, and he basically only did it because of all the political push from both sides. Also, his obsession with celebrity culture, having Kanye and Kim Kardashian really encouraging him to do something about it. With all that said, we cannot criticize him, because this was possibly one of the greatest things he's done for the American people. Another topic that's quite complicated and has many layers is his salary donations. Now, technically, anyone that donates money to worthy causes is doing a good deed. Although, when you're wealthy, there can be some grey areas.
They say that no other president has done it. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. They actually say that George Washington may have been the only other president to do. But see whether or not Obama gave up his salary. See whether or not all of the other of your favorites give up their salary. The answer is no. They say it's the only one. They think George Washington did, but they say no other. So I give up. It's a lot of money, $450,000, close to. And I give that up.
Don't brag about it and condemn others before you by lying to make you look better. Politico found that Trump couldn't be any further from the truth. The 31st president, Herbert Hoover, was the first to refuse his salary. John F. Kennedy also refused his salary when he entered the office. These men were already multimillionaires from their previous businesses before becoming president. JFK was the richest man at the time to ever enter office. Trump also lied about Obama. While he did not convert his whole salary into donations, it's false to say he didn't donate anything at all. According to Forbes' analysis of the former president's 2009 to 15 tax returns, Obama donated $1.1 million to various charities in his time as president. There's also all the tax fraud Trump's been trying to avoid over the years. Looking at the $100,000 check Trump donated to HHS to support the efforts being undertaken to confront, contain, and combat coronavirus, it's worth remembering that the budget proposal that Trump released proposed a 10% cut to healthcare's budget that equated to over billions of dollars. Viewed in this context, $100,000 is just pittance. Trump hasn't been kind to healthcare at all. Trump was actively working to dismantle HHS, as well as other government agencies that respond to outbreaks like the coronavirus. You see what I mean? Grey areas. On the topic of health and humane services, let's steer away from Trump and go back to CNN for a second. What the hell is with their reporting on Bernie Sanders? During the Democrat debates, Bernie was spot on with Medicare for all.
Under your plan, I'll tell you how we're paying for it right now. The average worker in America, their family makes $60,000 a year. That family is now paying $12,000 a year for health care, 20% of their income. Under Medicare for all, that family will be paying $1,200 a year.
Straight after the debate, CNN immediately takes Biden's side, while almost completely dismissing Bernie, even finally stating that they never talk about Bernie Sanders. Back to Trump, I spoke about 2 ways he helped workers within the United States, stopping the TTP deal and the trade deal he made with Mexico and Canada. Now, this was mainly important because it stopped big corporations from underpaying workers outside of the states. Like the First Step Act, this was objectively a great thing he did. The grey area though, other than that, he didn't actually do a lot for US workers, especially during the pandemic last year and how badly he handled it. The main takeaway from this video is always look for the grey in every topic. Don't just see everything as black and white, especially in news programs. There's a show here called The Project on Channel 10, which put out a video recently called From Go to Woe, a look back at the presidency of Donald J. Trump. And it didn't mention anything positive about the man. Not even the First Step Act. It was basically just a 15-minute long hit piece on the guy. If you're going to look at the bad, you got to show the good as well. A saying I heard and really like is this: bad people can do good things just like good people can do bad. The world isn't split down the middle with just good people and bad people. I mean, of course there's serial killers who are just downright evil, but generally it's just full of people making good and bad decisions. I still believe Trump is mainly self-interested, but one thing that really makes me question what I think of the guy is when I saw a video of him talking about his older brother who he lost due to alcohol.
I learned myself. I had a brother, Fred, great guy, best looking guy, best personality, much better than mine. But he had a problem. He had a problem with alcohol. And he would tell me, don't drink, don't drink. He was substantially older, and I listened to him and I respected, but he would constantly tell me, don't drink. He'd also add, don't smoke. But he would say it over and over and over again. And to this day, I've never had a drink. And I have no longing for it. I have no interest in it. To this day, I've never had a cigarette. Don't worry, those are only 2 of my good things. I don't want to tell you about the bad things. There's plenty of bad things, too. But he really helped me. I had somebody that guided me. And he had a very, very, very tough life because of alcohol, believe me. Very, very tough, tough life. He was a strong guy, but it was a tough, tough thing that he was going through. But I learned because of Fred. I learned.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen Trump speak so clearly and well pronounced as he did just then speaking about his brother. It was like he was dropping his guard and actually being genuine, sincere, and his honest self. Thank you for joining me in this quick vlog and going beyond a thought. Comment below about a moment where you saw Trump as a genuine person and being his sincere self, or a grey area in the media about him. Like this video to help it in the algorithm. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified of the next video. Peace.